I'm very pleased to be interviewing Monica Smith, who is CEO, founder of iPredictus. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me about your background. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, I started a marketing firm, strategic marketing firm, back in 1999, and mainly in the direct-to-consumer space that was driving retail traffic, direct mail, and email. And about 7 years ago, one of our clients wanted to get out of television and wanted to go back into direct mail, and I said, I don't think that's a great idea, and looked into television advertising, fell in love with it, and thought it could be far more accountable than it is, and started a new company, technology company, to hold television media accountable. And that's how I got where I am.
I'm just curious, what did you study in school? What was your
Communications.
So how did you get to where you are?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm highly learning disabled and taught myself how to read in college, and had a really good chance at a very early age. I got into a great first job out of college, learned a lot about retail. Kmart had just bought Walden Books, and I had a super taste for entrepreneurialism, and I really think that I just moved too slow. I moved the world, at the business world, moved too slow for me. I just think I was unemployable. So in order to be where I am today, I had to make sure that I was better than the average bear to do the things that I wanted to do, which is, not only I have a lot of foster children, but also we take care of an animal sanctuary. So a lot of mouths to feed. So just really hungry and driven, and just so interested in learning. So that's it's not, I know, in guys' world, they don't like to hear all that stuff, but the reality is that I have a very full plate. So the only thing when you're as learning disabled as I am is kind of connecting A, B, C, D. So from a marketing operations perspective, connecting data where it's broken or fixing things where it's broken, I just have a real knack for it.
So Monica, how do you achieve life balance?
I'm asked that frequently, and I think, I'm doing what I love, but I also love what I do. So, and I know that sounds goofy, but I have been able to, it's only just recently, I want to say that, it took me a couple of years to get where I am as a person today, as a mom, and as a business owner, and as a social entrepreneur. So if you had asked me that question 2 years ago, I would have punted and told you that I had it figured out. But, life has kind of set me straight on. I tell people the way it is with my schedule, and I don't compromise on the things that I think are important. So I think my kids come to work with me, and my work comes home with me, and I think I have a supporting household, and I think I hire employees that get it as well, and I allow everybody else to have that same lifestyle if they can achieve it.
What advice would you give to a student today?
I'm very passionate about this. I think that it's so incredibly important that they figure out through not just what they are. I'm going to answer it differently. I think it's really important that you read as much as you possibly can in different areas to really get a really good sense of the world. And I think the other piece, if I could give any advice, there's a lot of free webinars and a lot of different trade publications that you can read about and see what is happening in these associations. That's not something anybody ever told me in college, to say, okay, look at this association, or go to this webinar. But I think kids coming out of college are lacking certainly business experience through internships. The knowledge that the practical business knowledge that they have is really, even at the best schools, are really, they're underskilled. And the third is, I think that they play a lot of sports, which I played athletics, but I just think their work ethic is very different than when I was growing up. I don't want to bring everybody up into it. Had to have a job, plus had to go to your high school classes and your college classes. I think they're missing some of that, and so they're coming out of college with much more of a blank slate than I think they should. So my advice is, really understand that there's a whole host of things out there that are accessible through the web. And my recommendation is, try Google and start Googling through it, and spend at least 1.5 years, if not 2 years, of trying to figure out what you really want to do.